Walking with Dinosaurs is a 6-part documentary television miniseries that was produced by the BBC, narrated by Kenneth Branagh, and first aired in the United Kingdom, in 1999. The series was subsequently aired in North America on the Discovery Channel in 2000, with Branagh's voice replaced with that of Avery Brooks. It is the first entry of the Walking With series and used computer-generated imagery and animatronics to recreate the life of the Mesozoic, showing dinosaurs and their contemporaries in a way that previously had only been seen in feature films. The program's aim was to simulate the style of a nature documentary and therefore does not include talking head interviews. The series used palaeontologists such as Michael Benton, Thomas R. Holtz, Jr., Peter Dodson, Peter Larson, Dave Martill, and James Farlow as advisors. The Guinness Book of World Records reported that the series was the most expensive documentary series per minute ever made. The series won 2 BAFTA Awards, 3 Emmy Awards and a Peabody Award in 2000. A feature film of the same name, inspired by the series, was released by 20th Century Fox and BBC Earth in 2013. Reception: the series has earned critical acclaim. In a list of the 100 greatest British television programmes drawn up by the British Film Institute in 1999, voted on by industry professionals, Walking with Dinosaurs was placed 72nd. The series won 2 BAFTAs and 3 Emmy Awards, Outstanding Animated Programme, Outstanding Special Visual Effects and Outstanding Achievement in Non-Fiction Programming Sound Editing. Common Sense Media greatly praised the programme, giving it 5 stars out of 5 and saying that, "Somebody had a great idea, which was to make a documentary series about dinosaurs, but with a twist." The aging ornithologist on a desperate final flight to his mating grounds, the sauropod hatchling struggling for survival in the late Jurassic, the migrating herds and the undersea life of 150 million years ago would all seem as real as a nature program about polar bears or snow monkeys. This technique of narrating the prehistoric life as though it were current has been used several times since, for example in the BBC's 2011 Planet Dinosaur series. Companion book: a companion book was written by Tim Haynes to accompany the first screening of the series in 1999. The settings of some of the 6 episodes were changed between the time the book was written and the screening of the television series, and some of their names were changed. New Blood is set at Ghost Ranch. Cruel Sea is set at Orn near Solnhofen in Germany near what then were the Windelisisch Islands. The book elaborated on the background for each story, went further in explaining the science on which much of the program is based, and included descriptions of several animals not identified or featured in the series. The Arena Spectacular. Walking with Dinosaurs, The Arena Spectacular is a live adaptation of the series that originated in Australia in January 2007, and toured North America in 2007 10, Europe in 2010, and returned to North America until 2011. It also toured Asia beginning in December 2010. In 2011 the show came to its final destination of its first tour, New Zealand. In 2012, the show toured the UK, Germany, Ireland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, and the Netherlands. Creatures in the Arena Spectacular: Lilian sternis, Plateosaurus, Stegosaurus, Allosaurus, Brachiosaurus, Ornithologist, Utahraptor, Torosaurus, Ankylosaurus, Tyrannosaurus rex. Film adaptation. Walking with Dinosaurs is a 2013 family film about dinosaurs in the late Cretaceous period 70 million years ago. The production features computer-animated dinosaurs in live-action settings with actors John Leguizamo, Justin Long, Tia Sircar, and Skylar Stone providing voiceovers for the main characters. It was directed by Neil Nightingale and Barry Cook from a screenplay by John Kelly. The film was produced by BBC Earth and Evergreen Films and was named after the BBC miniseries. The film, with a budget of $80 million, was one of the largest independent productions to date. It was financed by Big Reliance Entertainment and IM Global instead of a major studio. The majority of distribution rights were eventually sold to 20th Century Fox. The crew filmed footage on location in the U.S. state of Alaska and in New Zealand, which were chosen for their similarities to the dinosaurs' surroundings millions of years ago. Animal Logic designed computer-animated dinosaurs and added them to the live-action backdrop. Though the film was originally going to have a narrator like in the miniseries, Fox executives wanted to add voiceovers to connect audiences to the characters. Walking with Dinosaurs premiered on December 14, 2013 at the Dubai International Film Festival. It was released in cinemas in 2D and 3D on December 20, 2013. Critics commended the film's visual effects but found its storytelling to be subpar and derided the voiceovers as juvenile. The film grossed $34.4 million in the United States and Canada and $71.6 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $106 million. The Hollywood Reporter said the film's global box office performance was disappointing in context of the production budget and marketing spend. In other media, to capitalize on a resurgence of interest in the brand following the release of the Walking with Dinosaurs feature film, a range of products and services have been designed to bring Walking with Dinosaurs to myriad other forms of media. Video game. Originally announced in summer 2012, BBC Earth have worked with Supermassive Games to bring the Walking with Dinosaurs experience to the PlayStation 3 using the Wonderbook augmented reality peripheral. Apps. 3 apps have been created for smartphones and tablets. Walking with Dinosaurs, Photo Adventure for iOS and Android devices, Walking with Dinosaurs, Dinosaur Island for iOS devices, and Walking with Dinosaurs, Inside Their World, an interactive encyclopedia of dinosaurs and those who studied them, with narration by Stephen Ferry, for the iPad. Other merchandise. The revival of the Walking with Dinosaurs brand will also be seen in other areas, including a range of toys and games from Vivid Imaginations, a range of books from Macmillan Publishers, and a set of limited edition stamps from the Royal Mail. Scientific inaccuracies. Michael J. Benton, a consultant to the making of the series, notes that a group of critics gleefully pointed out that birds and crocodiles, the closest living relatives of the dinosaurs, do not urinate. They shed waste chemicals as more solid uric acid. In the first episode of Walking with Dinosaurs, Postosuchus urinates copiously. However, Benton notes that nobody can prove this was a real mistake. Copious urination is the primitive state for tetrapods, and perhaps basal archosaurs did the same. He believes many other claims of errors identified in the first weeks fizzled out, as the critics had found points about which they disagreed, but they could not prove that their views were correct. Tropaeognathus was depicted as far larger than it actually was. In the book based on the series, it was claimed that several large bone fragments from the Santana Formation of Brazil possibly indicate that Tropaeognathus may have had a wingspan reaching almost 12 meters and a weight of 100 kilograms, making it one of the largest known pterosaurs. However, these specimens have not been formally described. The largest definite Tropaeognathus specimens known measure 6 meters in wingspan. The specimens which the producers of the program used to justify such a large size estimate are currently undescribed, and are being studied by Dave Martill and David Unwin. Unwin stated that he does not believe this highest estimate is likely, and that the producers likely chose the highest possible estimate because it was more spectacular. However, no other early Cretaceous pterosaurs reached its size. Similarly, Liopleurodon was depicted as being 25 meters long in the series, whereas the adult size known to have been reached by Liopleurodon is around 7 m. List of episodes. International broadcast. Notes. New Zealand. References. External links. Walking with Dinosaurs at the Internet Movie Database, Walking with Dinosaurs, The Origins. Retrieved May 28, 2012. ABC's Walking with Dinosaurs site, BBC Science and Nature Prehistoric Life, Walking with Dinosaurs The Arena Spectacular official website.